Southern Fried Travel. Today, this is our first inaugural video. We're going to be talking about our favorite and worst experiences and food with Disney character dining. I'm Mitchell. This is Rhonda, David, and Lindsay. And to start us off, there's one. It looks like the other one's over here. Hold on. What are you saying, Nicholas?
Hello.
So first, we're going to start off with our favorite experiences. We're going to be talking about just the experience of, and not the food itself. Lindsay, you want to start us off? What's your favorite?
But first, you need to like, subscribe, share.
And comment your thoughts and what your favorite experiences are as well. And that way, and your worst. That way we can kind of, because everybody's taste is a little bit different.
Yes.
So we'll start off with our favorite.
And what you would like us to talk about.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Okay. So my favorite is off of experience alone. The food was not bad, but it was not the top notch. But Be Our Guest in the Magic Kingdom is my favorite for dinner. As far as the experience goes, that's my favorite movie. And the interaction with Beast was phenomenal. He kept trying to push David away and pull me in, and it was a great experience, especially for those that like Beauty and the Beast.
A fun note for that too, with Beauty and the Beast, it is only character dining at nighttime. So if you go at breakfast and you're expecting to see Beast, that won't happen. A fun fact, this is all pre-COVID stuff, but with Be Our Guest, on the dining plan, it is quick service credits for breakfast and lunch.
Yeah.
But dinner is going to be signature dining. So just if you do the dining plan when it comes back, know that that's kind of a good bang for your buck for breakfast and lunch.
Yes.
But Beast is only there at night.
Yeah. And if you're gonna go for
bang for your buck.
If you do breakfast,
if you like a light breakfast,
if
you like a very light, not a heavy breakfast before the
well,
party,
it's probably not. You're right.
If
it's
you're
probably not the
paying for
best
it,
bang for your buck.
No. I mean, we do it every time we go.
just because going in the castle
we
is
like
awesome.
The
That
castle
castle is awesome.
and the boys like the castle.
The
and-
West Wing.
Yeah, the boys like it, even though they're boys and it tends to be girly, but they still like it. But I don't think the food is
The
best.
food is not.
Yeah.
No.
And normally when I eat breakfast somewhere, I'm normally good until like that evening, but you're not at Be Our Guest.
Well, the only thing I do for breakfast at Be Our Guest is Gaston's feast.
That feast,
Yeah.
yeah.
And that's it. Everything
That's what I
else
always
is
do,
very, yeah.
Like
and the food
breads,
is not.
Yeah.
The food's not. It's mediocre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Dave. What's your favorite?
So my favorite with the experience and food would be. Now you're gonna have to help me pronounce it. You just said it.
Trattoria or Alfarno?
Yes.
Forno. Trattoria Alfarno.
At Boardwalk. It's
Yeah.
at the Boardwalk Resort, and it's the Bon Voyage Breakfast is what Disney has named it. The food's phenomenal. It's not a buffet like most of your character interactions. Most of them are buffets. This is not a buffet. You order off the menu, and you get to see the Little Mermaid, Ariel, Eric, Finn, and Rapunzel. And at one point in time, I think it's still the same. It's the only place you can really kind of have a character interaction with Finn and Eric. So,
Yes.
but it was fun. It was set up very well. Service was amazing, but the food is
The food
food's
was phenomenal. They bring out like a tray of different pastries. They're known for what they call the sun pastry. And those are unlimited. Your entrees are not, but those were unlimited. You could have as many as you wanted, and they were phenomenal.
It was a good one. So, what about you, Mitchell?
So my favorite, based on just the experience alone, was the 1900 Park Fair for dinner. As we'd gone through and ate at a couple of different other ones, especially the more princessy ones, I'm not really, all the prim and proper, but it was just a fun experience with the Ugly Stepsisters because they were very interactive. They were hilarious. I know at one point in time, Liam was sitting there and one of them was trying to take him away saying, "We're getting married." It was a fun, humorous experience.
It was hilarious.
And then as a tie for that one, I would have to say Chef Mickey's, just based on the fact of it was nostalgic. Is that yours?
Like you just took to mine. Like
Well, I'll go ahead. I'll let you have Chef Mickey's. Go ahead. That was my, based on experience alone, I'll say 1900
Before
Park
we even
Fair.
had this camera turned on, he was asking me, and I didn't think you were going to take both of them.
Go ahead, I'll let you have Chef
So my
Mickey's.
favorite one too was going to be the stepsister one because it was hilarious. That the way they just fling out of the kitchen. I thought the food was good too. It was buffet, and we have very, very picky eaters for our boys, so they were able to find something on the buffet to eat.
And as a note about the food, the chilled strawberry soup is really good. I really
I
enjoyed
eat
that.
but I don't eat strawberries, but he says it's good.
It is a good one. And a thing about the character meals is it kills two birds with one stone.
Yeah.
Is you gotta eat, and when you're at Disney, everybody wants to see characters, so you do kill two birds with one stone.
And it's a lot
You don't
easier
have
to
wait
do.
in those long
Yes, you don't
lines.
have to wait in lines. Because some of the lines can be very 40 minutes, hour, just to get a picture. And so, I mean, this does knock it out pretty
Yeah,
good.
most of them, with the exception of like Be Our Guest, have multiple characters, so
Yeah.
you get
Yeah.
to see
Multiple.
and you just kind of knock that out at one time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cause at the one you're talking about, you see the stepsisters, Lady Tremaine, Cinderella with
The
Prince.
Prince
With the
Charming.
Prince Charming, yeah.
Yeah, and so
Yeah.
it's a cool experience.
Yeah.
And you can see the stepsisters in the Magic Kingdom if you know where to look
Yeah.
for them, but
Yeah.
they're hard to find sometimes.
And as a note, that one, 1900 Park Fair, does have a different experience for breakfast.
They do.
correct? Yeah.
Yes, and
But-
we loved that one for breakfast. That was a really good breakfast one
Yeah.
for us. Who all does it have?
Breakfast is Alice, the Mad Hatter,
Mm-hmm.
Mary Poppins, and my favorite Tigger, and my favorite Pooh Bear.
And some of those are also hard characters to track down in
Yeah.
the park too. It's not, they don't usually just have, you can look on the Disney Experience app and say, okay, I've got to wait here. They're kind of hard. They
They
just
are
pop
hard.
up in different places. But this is a good, very easy way to make sure you can get a picture with them and see them.
I do have a picture of one of the stepsisters. I said, take a picture with what's the dark-headed one's name? Triselle? Is that Triselle?
Giselle?
Giselle. One of them.
Drizella, or something like
And
that.
the sister, what she said to you? She said,
You can tell he's having, this is the best night of his life.
life. Yeah. It was just funny. They just made it fun.
Because I'm the type,
Yeah.
as far as the actual people characters, I wasn't really big on taking pictures. I was more like hooked up on Pooh Bear, Mickey, and the dress characters, but
Yeah.
the actual physical human characters, I wasn't really the most picture taking.
Yeah,
Although-
I'm a huge Cinderella fan anyway. Cinderella's my favorite, but I was liking the stepsisters more interaction during that dinner versus Cinderella.
Yeah.
Although I will say, in the first couple of times, it can be awkward and all that, but you kind of get into the non-masked
Yeah.
characters,
Yeah.
such as the stepsisters and all. You're like, it's kind of,
You don't know what to do.
you don't know what to do,
Yeah.
but if you talk their storyline with
Yeah.
them, it's really fun.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had a 15-minute conversation, it seemed like, with Ariel about dingle hoppers
Yeah.
and her Miss concert. Like, they are trained to talk their stories, and so it can be fun if you kind of quiz them.
So on a side note to that, the easiest character that is human that you don't necessarily have to know their storyline, but they're very interactive and easygoing is Jack Sparrow. I thought he was.
Yeah.
If
That was the
Disney
best,
is
yeah.
watching, Disney needs to have a character meal with
Jack Sparrow, that would be
I
fun.
think so too.
Yeah.
That would be
That'd
fun.
be-
Oh, that's hilarious. That would be more for the guys or the boys because there's not many.
There's
I guess,
not.
like boyish character meals. But Jack Sparrow, Liam loved it. Nicholas loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's not even. We're getting off topic.
Okay, anyway, so back to being on topic. Well, we talked about best experience. So
I
what
didn't get to talk about mine.
did you not?
No.
You,
No.
Well, go ahead, keep going.
So the best experience that I had was probably Chef Mickey. I heard a lot of bad reviews about Chef Mickey.
Yeah.
There's a lot of bad reviews out there, so I was kind of like, I don't know about this. But going back to what David was saying, killing two birds with one stone, you get to see Mickey, Minnie, Donald, Goofy, and Pluto's there.
Yeah, it's the Fab Five. It's
Yeah.
like the only place you can see the
Yeah.
Fab Five.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So to me, I didn't have to worry about because we actually had a fast pass in I think it was Animal Kingdom to see Donald and Mickey, and dressed up in like a safari type
Mhm.
outfits. We ended up canceling that and using it for something else because we had already saw aisle 5, and they come to your table, they stay for a while,
Yeah.
and when we went to Chef Mickey the first time, it was whenever the original Chef Mickey was getting redone.
Yeah.
So we ended up, what was the hotel?
It was the same hotel.
It was just in the basement.
the basement,
I
yeah.
kind of, when we were going, I was like,
Where is this? It was in like a
really-
humongous conference
Yeah.
room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it ended up being a really good experience. The food was good. I'm going to tell you, I didn't eat anything for the rest of the day because that breakfast buffet
They had a little bit
had,
of everything.
they had smoked salmon, they had ham,
Yeah.
like carved ham, they had the waffles, they had
And those Mickey
Everything.
waffles at Chef Mickey's were a little bit more addictive than the
Yeah.
regular, like Mickey waffles at the rest of the park that we tried. There was something about them. Maybe it was the nostalgia factor, seeing those characters, or the fact that it was our first character experience on our first family Disney trip. But it was definitely, they were good.
It was good.
It's definitely, we've not done it yet, but I've heard enough people say that it's definitely a must, but we've not done that one yet.
Liam, no.
But I will say, as overall,
It's been
Disney does
11
a good-
minutes.
Disney does a good job with the variety at their buffets.
Yeah,
Yes.
they do.
Period.
Yeah.
For the most part, a buffet is a buffet,
Yeah.
but there's typically a good variety for your adventurous eater, for your picky eater.
And I'd say there at Chef Mickey's, they did have, speaking of variety, more variety than say Crystal Palace, because we did there for breakfast, or the what is it? Not Park and Vine.
Vine.
Hollywood Vine.
The Hollywood and
Vine.
Vine, like
Yeah.
those were just your run of the mill, same breakfast buffets that you pretty much get
Yeah.
everywhere else. But there at Chef Mickey's, there was a bigger variety.
It was
there.
more of like a brunch style
Yeah.
buffet,
Yeah.
I think.
One I also want to mention on the good list is Tusker House in Animal Kingdom. It's good food.
Yeah.
It is good food.
They
It's,
do have a lot of like adventurous things for
Yeah.
you to
Yes.
try, but they also have enough normal like American
Yeah.
style food for your
Yeah.
picky eaters. So if the parents want a more adventurous meal, then they
There was
have
enough
something
there
for
for
your
the
palate,
kids, yeah.
but they also
Yeah.
have something for your picky eaters.
Because I am an adventurous eater, and I really did enjoy the variety that
Yeah.
Tusker House had. They had traditional, as far as I know, authentic
Yeah.
African foods there, and it was
Yeah.
it was good. It really was.
And there, you could knock out a lot of birds.
And they're in their safari
You
outfits
You
there.
could
Yeah.
Mickey,
Donald,
Donald, Daisy, and Goofy.
and Goofy.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's a good one too.
Mhm.
All right, so what about our worst food / experiences? You know, what's what do
Let me start.
Go ahead, Dave.
So the worst one for me is weird because it's your best.
Yeah.
But it is 1900 Park Fair dinner. Now the breakfast is phenomenal. Dinner is normally good too. I don't know. We had
a late reservation.
we had a late reservation. Service was kind of off that night. The characters seemed
which
rushed.
is abnormal for Disney. Like their
Yes.
customer service is normally.
So if I totally rated it on experience and out of all of our trips, and normally I'm the one, there's no bad character dining because I love it.
Yeah.
But I'd have to say 1900 Park Fair is a bad memory. And then there's only one other restaurant, and it's not character dining, that was absolutely horrible. The rest of them, we're pretty much advocate.
Well, that's probably my worst, but it wasn't a character.
That's another video. But like, we are
You
huge.
can tell it, Lindsay.
I have a question.
But we're normally huge advocates for Disney dining, and we like the program, we like the food. But 1900 Park Fair hit a low note for us on one of our last trips. And again, all this is pre-COVID.
Yeah.
Character dining is just starting to phase back in right now. It does look
Yeah.
different. I think hopefully they'll migrate more to what it did look like. But right now, if there's only a few character meals open, and they're not coming as close to your table,
Yeah.
and they're kind of standing back. You still get an interaction with them, but it is different right now.
Yeah.
So you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
So my worst experience wise was actresses, and it kind of goes back to what I was talking about with 1900 Park Fair. It was just an all. I didn't like the experience. It's all
They need more
princess
boy stuff. Yeah.
Well, I mean, and the food, I like the food. It was Norwegian style food. It was good. It's also buffet style. we went for lunch, but it was just the princesses. To me, it seemed like, I guess if you didn't talk to them about their stories, they were all the same. Just the prim, the proper, the tees, and it just wasn't really my. It just wasn't really my thing. But like, it wasn't really my thing, and there's nothing against obviously nothing against the princess dinners. Like, as far as they were in character, they were good at what they were doing, but it was, experience-wise, it was my favorite.
Two things about that though, if you have daughters.
Yes, now if you have daughters, yes.
Two things though.
Yeah.
Number one, it is the better alternative other than Cinderella's royal table. In my opinion, that is very overrated and overpriced, and it's very hard to get a reservation.
Yes.
Number two, if you have a Belle fan, it's one of the very few places that you get some one-on-one, because you're normally greeted at the castle by Belle. You have a photo op with her. Again, don't know how that'll look post-COVID, but at the time, if you got a Belle fan, that's the place to take your little girl to meet.
Yeah, because it is. That's the first thing you do before you get seated.
Knock a lot of birds out with one stone, because you get to see Snow White, Sleeping Beauty, Belle,
Jasmine,
Snow White, Belle, Sleeping Beauty, and Jasmine.
Yeah, you do get to knock a lot out with that one.
So if you go there, you don't have to stand in those lines to see the princesses.
And we did for Cinderella for you the first trip we went, because you got to go in and you freaked out seeing the crystal slipper and.
I'm on the other spectrum for experience, because I love Belle.
Yeah.
So, it was a one-on-one experience with her, so that was great. And then we had a great Snow White. Like, her voice had that squeaky, high-pitched voice, just like she does in the movie. So, like, as far as food, I mean, it was just like your normal, because we went for breakfast. It was just your normal breakfast. It wasn't anything special. But as far as experience, especially if you had children, I think it was.
Which we did. We were surrounded by all girls.
Yeah, it was. We were probably one of the few tables that had 2 young boys.
Yeah.
So, and they still liked it okay, but.
The boys liked it, and I think the boys liked it for me, because I wanted to go. But I didn't feel like the food was that kid-friendly.
No, I would agree with that.
I don't think it's kid-friendly at all. I feel like after we got done eating lunch, we had to go use one of our snack credits for the boys. There wasn't a lot.
And I will say this on a side note,
we have very picky boys.
They do. They do have a buffet appetizer set up there for like salads and smoked salmon, and you actually order off of the menu for your it's like a cold bar for your main thing. And they have some like Norwegian style stuff on the food bar, like I said, smoked salmon, and different fruits, cheeses, and some other things up there. But yeah, it was, you sat down and you ordered like more traditional Norwegian style food.
Yeah.
But I love stuff like that. Like I said, I'm adventurous, so that was right up my alley.
Yeah.
So what were?
Mine worst character dining. It wasn't so much the food, it was the service and just the experience part. And that is the Crystal Palace with Winnie the Pooh, Eeyore, Tigger, Piglet. Yeah, that's all 4 of them. It does knock out a lot of the characters. You get to see all 4 of those. The food was good. It was just your normal buffet. We went for breakfast.
And most of your breakfast buffets they're going to be pretty much the same.
Yeah, there's not much. Yeah, you got your Mickey waffles.
Eggs, some of them,
ham, bacon.
And there might be 1 or 2 differences between them, but for the most part, it's all pretty much the same.
A few
breakfast.
of them do have the chilled strawberry soup.
In the hash brown casserole thing. Crystal Palace did have cereal. Not all of them have cereal, though.
No, I don't think so.
Crystal Palace had cereal.
I think 1900 Park Fair does too, though. I do think they have a cereal station.
And so it wasn't so much the food. We went in December. They did have hot chocolate while we were waiting, which was good. Once we got in there, we were there for almost 2 hours. Now, I was quickly reminded that the experience can take up to, I think she said it was like an hour and a half. but we were there past the 2-hour mark. There had already been people that saw all the characters and left. And I guess they're on like rotation. Even though the character goes by your table, if it's not your turn, they're not going to stop. It doesn't matter if you're yelling at them or not. They might wave at you, but they're going to keep on going. So we saw a lot of the characters go by us, but they didn't actually stop at our table. Of course, if you have kids and you're eating at a buffet, you know that they're finished eating before you're actually got your plate and eating. So the kids were done. They had already ate. I actually got up and went and tried to find somebody and I think we didn't get to see Pooh. Was it Pooh?
I think it was Pooh because we had seen everybody else
Yeah.
at that point.
So I went to ask somebody, hey, can you just tell Pooh come over here so I can just get a quick picture? And the lady quickly reminded me that the experience could take 90 minutes. I tried to explain to her that we had been there
For over 120 minutes.
Yeah, and she didn't act like she had time to talk to me. So we ended up leaving without seeing everybody. So that it wasn't so much the food thing. It was just a bad experience.
And that brings up a good point. It is Disney. They are known for customer service, but they're people working one of the most popular tourist attractions in
and
the
they do have their
world.
protocols they have to follow.
And they do have protocols, but you can get a bad cast member.
Yeah.
You can get somebody that's having a bad day. It is uncommon, and the part of Disney magic is they do try to make everything special. But we've all probably had bad experiences of, just we've encountered that one bad day, and it may not necessarily have been horrific. It just like with us at 1900 Park Fair, we had bad service. So it does happen. A lot of people, are like, that don't happen at Disney. It does happen.
Yeah, it does.
I mean, it's the human factor. We have bad days. Everybody has bad days. So our experience at one restaurant for service might be different than your experience. So this is just our opinions and our experiences that we're sharing at this moment.
Comment and let us know because it'd be interesting to hear everybody else.
Yeah, and if there's
we haven't ate everywhere either, so it'd be cool to hear what other people have.
Absolutely. If there's a restaurant you've been to that we haven't mentioned, if there's a place that you had a bad experience, anything that we've talked about, comment, like, subscribe. Let us know about some content you would like us to talk about. We're not only doing Disney.
We're just Disney people.
We're Disney people. This is our first inaugural, kind of like a sit down talk. But we're doing local areas and just day trips. We're going to Jamaica here in November, and we'll each go to like separate areas.
We'll cover Dollywood's festivals this year.
So, like I said, comment, like, subscribe. We'll be trying to come to you with videos that are uploaded often. We also have a Facebook page, Southern Fried Travel. Go and give us a like there. Comment on some of our content. A lot of our stuff is written down there too. But
you done a video on airfare?
We've got a video on airfare. We've got some more content coming up.
She flew to Denver for $23. I'm still mad about that one.
We'll have a post about Denver, a cheap travel to Denver coming up too. So
she did.
That's it for today for Southern Fried Travel. Like I said, comment, like, subscribe, and we'll see you another time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.